Hey photographer, it's Michelle. I make videos all about photography, and today's video is part 3, which is our final video in our 3-part series all about how I'm sharing with you how I prep my senior photography clients for their session. So if you missed the other 2 videos, of course I will link them down in the description box below. We've talked so far about what I include in the welcome email when they first book, the questionnaire I send them so I can totally understand what they hope and dream for their session and why that's important. In today's video, I'm talking about the final part of prepping my senior clients, which is the consultation. But before we jump into that, as always, I have a freebie for you. If you haven't grabbed it already, I have a free session prep checklist, which is the exact checklist I give to my clients. And it's just a checklist of what they should bring the day of their session so they feel totally prepared and that we don't have any like emergencies. So grab that down below if you want to just turn it over and then add value to your client. You are welcome to do that. So let's jump into it. Okay, so there's lots of different ways you can actually do a consultation. Of course, you can do it over the phone. If you prefer, you can meet in person, or you can do what I do now. I do Zoom calls, and I like that because it's the kind of the best of both worlds. One, we're still getting to meet each other, especially if I don't know them already. It kind of breaks the ice a little bit. And then 2, obviously, it's just more convenient for me not having to travel to another location, use gas, use time, and plan my whole day around this meeting. So I like Zoom consultations for that reason, and nowadays most teens are used to that, so it's not a big deal to ask them to do that. So I usually do this call 1 to 2 weeks before their session because this is the final planning session, the final touch point to getting them to their session day feeling prepared, and then honestly so I know what we're doing. So in this meeting, that's literally what I tell them when they hop on the call. I'm like, this is just to plan the final details, ask me any last minute questions, go over your outfits, etc. So by now I actually have a pretty good idea of what they want for their session, but I always like to start the meeting off with hearing from the senior first. So, I give my introductions, blah, 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 and then I say, so first I want to hear what you are really wanting for your session, what's most important to you. And sometimes if they're in a club or a sport, they'll talk about that, or maybe if they just really want a certain location, we'll talk about that. So I really want to hear from them first, what they are most wanting, and then we do what I think is the fun part, which is go over their outfits. Now I know not every photographer loves the fashion side, so obviously tailor this to you. So what I like to do is I tell the senior just to lay out the outfits they're thinking about wearing before the meeting, and so that way we're on the meeting, they can just kind of pan over and I can get a really good idea. I don't make them try them on, I don't do anything like that, but I like to have a really good idea of their style, because when people say jeans, they can mean so many different types of jeans, and so I really like to see what their favorite pair of jeans is so I can match it with the location, because that's super important. And I love the fashion part of it, and I love helping the girls finish off their looks. That's why I love senior photography. For me, it's a huge bonus part of it. I love fashion, I love all that stuff. So if you're not a fashion loving photographer, maybe look for more of just that they have variety in their wardrobe, or ask them if it fits them well and can they sit, squat, stand, all those things in their outfits, because that's really important. So you can go over those types of things, but I like to help them finish off looks. Sometimes they don't think about a hat or a belt or some cool layered jewelry, stuff like that. That stuff's fun for me. So I'm happy to do that. And then what I do during the meeting as we're talking about outfits, here, I'll show you, hold on. I just made this cute little, super simple, I don't even know how much, can you see it? Yeah, there you go. I have this little note sheet that I just made, and I have little blocks for each outfit so I can write down what their looks are gonna be. And if they have more, I'll just put them on the back. But it helps me remember too, because when I'm in my busy season and I've got 6 senior sessions in 2 weeks, sometimes I forget who's wearing what and all those things. So this helps me keep on track. And then it also helps me keep notes throughout their session. If they're, whatever they said was really important to them, I'll write it down as we're talking so I don't forget the session day. Okay, so after we've talked about their wardrobe and I have a good idea of the outfits they want to wear, I usually will go over their props real quick, if they're bringing a pet, or again, if they have sports or clubs, to make sure that we have all the stuff we need for that, or if they want to go somewhere special for those things, like their stadium, etc., that we get that, taken care of. And then I do talk to them about professional hair and makeup if they are opting to get that, because a lot of seniors are nervous, they might not have had it before, and it's my job to ease them, one, to what to expect, Oftentimes they work with artists that I recommend that are professional and licensed, so I can tell them how they work, what to expect, all those things. So just walking your, just preparing your client. That's what you're supposed to do. I've done this several times, and so that's my job, is to help them feel really comfortable with the whole process. And then finally, I wrap up with actually selecting the locations, because by now I know what they want to wear, what is most important to them, if there's any special props or locations needing to be involved, and it really helps me be able to plan. So to show the locations, what I like to do is I create a folder on my desktop of all the different locations that I shoot or available for them, and then I just share my screen on Zoom, and then we go through different location options, and it's really easy because I can show them examples of what that is. If I haven't shot there before, sometimes I'll just bring up Google Earth, type in an address, and let them kind of see the area, and then we select locations from there. Okay, and then to wrap up the meeting, I usually just kind of recap what we talked about, make sure I'm on the right page with them, and then I tell them I will send them a follow-up email after I have everything confirmed, if I need to confirm anything like a venue or anything like that. And I'll send them the timeline of the day and the addresses if that applies, like if they don't know where they're going. So I like to send them all the information, and I always let them know, of course, I'm available if they have questions prior then. But that's like our Zoom call in a nutshell. It usually only takes 20-30 minutes. That's why I do Zoom calls, and I just have so much information to share. So for me, a Zoom call is so important, and again, it breaks the ice, so I think it's just so valuable. If I can't do the Zoom call, then I'll meet them in person, because it's that important to me to make sure they feel fully prepared, and I want to build up the excitement. I want them to come prepared. I want them to value this experience. So all that is adding value, making it important instead of like a last minute thing that they think of. Like, I really want them to love the images, because spoiler alert, they'll buy the images more, they'll buy more from you, prints, etc., the more they have a better experience with you and love their images. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found any valuable information, I really appreciate the thumbs up, and then I'll leave all the goodies down in the description box below. And then until the next one, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.